Thank you to all my patrons who supported me throughout my whole YouTube journey. Hey guys, I'm M.A.D.D.Y. I don't know, but I'm here with Distractible on a Thursday, but when you're watching it, it'll be Friday. So, yeah. So Mark is doing this thing where he's having video podcasts. Now, will this happen every Monday? I don't know. Will this happen every Thursday? I don't know. This came out on Wednesday, so I don't know what the, deal is with this. But I do have my tablet here. So I will have my Echo be connected to my tablet. So if there is video, I'll watch it here and continue building. So yeah, and then I'll go on my phone and record it on my phone if there is video. Well, it does say it's a video. But here's the thing. We covered Am I the Asshole on the podcast before? I don't think so. I think that's a subreddit. I think that's why I'm confused. I think that's a Am I the Asshole subreddit. Yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna watch I don't know. We're gonna do something with Am I the Asshole from Distractible. So with that all being said, let's get it. 3, 2, 1, play, I guess?
Good evening, and welcome to Distractible. Now gloriously brought to you with video feed, so you can watch the gents' cherubic faces beam with jocularity.
I don't.
This week, Bobbity Bob sets up his pals to probe into assholes. Mustache-twirling Wade has his helmet ripped off, and genius-level Mark offends the face person. From dessert recipes to essence or sauce. Yes, it's time for Am I the Asshole? Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome back to
I don't
Distractible
see
What?
anything.
I don't know. It's
What?
just like your lack of confidence in it. I thought it was great. This is the first one. You're the winner of the first one that we do here, and we can finally talk about it. So this is
Oh, yeah, that's true. We've been edging to talk about this.
oh, okay. We've been dying.
The first one, and we're already edging.
Yeah, hello and welcome back to Distractible. It might look a little different because it looks now. Because
I
the
don't see
episode
anything on
was
my
audio
tablet.
only. But now we're like the cool kids. And you can see our faces.
I
Our
don't.
beautiful room backgrounds.
I
and,
don't.
Other stuff. Welcome to another episode. I will be your host for today. My name is Bob, and I'm joined as always by my two competitors for this episode, Mark and Wade. Hello, guys.
Hello. Hi. And if you're confused because you're listening to this audio only, if you press some secret button somewhere that I don't know where it is, there's a way you can watch this with video, so you can see our
Yes.
real faces.
I don't know how.
Reactions.
All built into the Spotify app.
I don't see
I'm
that.
assuming. I have no idea how it works or where it's going to look like or whatever, but it's in there. There's a video. You can watch
I
it.
don't see
Before
it.
we get into today's competition, where Mark and Wade will be competing for points that I may or may not keep track of, and may or may not arbitrarily gift at the end of the episode, it's tradition for us to talk about ourselves. I feel like I've talked about the fact that Maddie and I have a baby now, and it's exhausting. So you guys talk. What's new in your lives? How is you?
Just about to start production on a very cool thing that I haven't told anybody about, but making a movie. In case I'm making a
All the
movie.
details. What's the
What,
script?
what is it though?
Who's in it?
Me. It's a movie.
Hi.
Yeah.
Minutes?
Mondays and
Yep.
Fridays coming forward.
Many
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
Many minutes. Like it's gonna have a lot of minutes in it.
More than 5.
I've been doing tons of work in terms of pre-production for that and getting ready and all the various nuanced things, and everyone's being like, oh man, a movie, that's kind of big thing. But you guys know that when making space, it ain't a small thing that I've done. Like so many people.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, that was
Oh, the
easy.
Emmy losing work. That's right.
Yeah. It's just like so many
I
people
don't
that
see
are
it.
like, man, are you sure you're ready for it? It's like, I made practically 4 movies with space. And with Heist, like, there's enough content for 2 movies by itself. It's like, I've done this stuff before. The only difference now is that it's not first person. It's like a traditional movie.
So everyone on the set will know how it's supposed to work, and it's not some weird thing where you're inventing a camera rig to make it
How
work.
many choices?
How many choices? 1, to watch the movie. And I get 2, then leaving it halfway through. I guess it's another choice.
At the beginning of the movie, you're presented with one choice: stay or don't.
Yeah, your life will really sprawl in different directions.
And if you don't stay, that's the choice you made. All of the whatever happens after you leave the movie is actually Mark's fault.
God, that's actually a really good idea for a promotional video. Is like a choose your own adventure going into the movie. So it's like the first choice is to watch the movie or not. And then if you do, but if you don't, you just walk right out the door and you get a bad end. And then you go up to the concession stand, you got choices there for your snacks. Man, that would be really fun. I should do that.
No one would be upset about that.
Ugh.
Don't forget to take out your trash cans.
I know.
This might tie into the new thing.
Alexa,
No,
turn the
no.
lights blue.
Okay.
Just like we do on this podcast.
Excellent. I've only been half listening, so I'm already confused.
Okay,
Oh, good. Well, I assume you haven't been listening because you've been thinking up some very fascinating small talk, Wade. So, how are you? What's the fascinating thing you're daydreaming about while you're ignoring Mark?
I can't wait for this episode to actually be aired, because at that time, I'll probably be in a...
Sorry, it's just my sister.
Surgery, assuming I have it this next time around, and I'll have finally gotten that done. And I like food.
Great.
Riveting.
Thank
Good.
you.
How
Listen, I
bad-
live an interesting
how-
life.
How bad is the shoulder? If you are basically living
Honestly,
with,
not
with a
bad.
completely messed up shoulder, right?
I'm told that like through here, like this burning sensation I occasionally get is from the tear. What I don't know, and it must be like a subconscious compensation. Most of my pain is actually up here, like in my neck area, which is why they thought it was my neck to start with. But it must be like me compensating for the shoulder constantly. Because the doctors are like, well, if we fix the shoulder, there's no guarantee this will go away. I was like, we'll make this go away. And they're like, go to surgery or not? I guess. So, like, this is apparently a mystery. No one's ever had pain here before. And they're just like,
I do have to ask if you, because I know your diet, and I'm not trying to call you out or anything.
babe.
You have a deep tendency to eat pretty much plain cheeseburgers, just fried chicken in any capacity, and then a lot of meat. And I just am suspicious. Like, is there any nutrition, nutrient that you're missing in your day-to-day life that could possibly be causing your body not able to repair the nerves properly and muscles and connective tissue?
Well, he's got all the amino acids he needs, but the doctor did say he's missing vitamins A through K plus all the other ones.
Didn't you just do a protein-only diet?
Yeah, didn't you just do keto, bro?
No.
That's what I do.
But I also supplement. I take a. Well, you basically do it. Like from everything I've seen, you just have two pieces of bread between all your meat. But like, do you do any multivitamin? I'm not trying to be holistic. Like,
I don't do a multivitamin. I do eat, not daily, but I do eat more vegetables and fruits than I used to eat. And I've cut out a lot more of the fast food. We do more home cooked stuff. I've been doing more like, I don't know if rice is healthier than potato, but I've been doing more like rice with meals than potatoes and stuff like that. I've tried to
I think
eat
it depends
less.
if you put butter on the rice like you do with potatoes or what have you.
I just eat it as it comes. But like, if it's like a teriyaki chicken or like a buttered chicken, it's like whatever sauce just with that. So I've tried to vary it up and do more variety of meals. A couple days a week, I've been getting like mixed vegetables, like green beans and corn and that kind of thing. So while I still do eat a lot of meat, I've tried to mix up the sides and do less. Like whenever I do get like fries or something, I'm not getting a large fry. I'm getting like a small fry. So I'm trying to cut back on that type of things and do less fried food. So I have been trying to be a bit better. And I was actually, part of the reason this tear probably happened was I was trying to actually exercise more last year. And I think I went too hard. I went from like 0 to 100 on like, how many push-ups can I do before I can't do more? How many sit-ups?
Oh, yeah.
Let me go. Let me watch this video, just go for an hour on the elliptical after doing 0 elliptical for 3 years. So kind of went from 0 to 100 on it. But once I'm cleared to get back to it, I'm going to try to ease into exercising a bit more too. So multivitamin is probably a good idea. So to answer your question, I don't know. I might be able to get good internet again soon. Apparently fiber's finally on the way.
Good for you. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you. Apparently, Mark, upload isn't going to be gigabit. Upload will only be 500 meg, but download will be up to 2 gigs, which feels unnecessary.
I don't know that. For all those big game updates you gotta download.
I want to talk about something else.
Oh.
I want to talk about something else.
All right, Bob, how's your nose?
His nose?
Fine, thanks for asking.
How's your nose, Mark?
It's fine, thanks for asking.
It's as good as your internet.
Are they having internet trouble? Is that the
Can
joke?
you just, I feel like
He's the host, not you.
You're gonna be mean to me when you can look me in the eye?
Yeah, of course I will. Even easier.
Oh yeah, I don't know if we explained that. Not only can you see us now, listeners/watchers, we can see us.
Yeah.
Up until this point, up until this point, we had been mostly audio only. But the way we're recording this right now, I can see their faces, and they can see my faces.
Yeah, which is a bit of a change, and I'm like, I keep remembering, we tried this a little bit before when we were experimenting with this, and then we were like, yeah, that was cool, I like being able to see you guys, it felt like more engaged, and then we never did it again.
We never did it ever again.
Whatever, I just like, over here, usually when we're recording, I'm like this.
Yeah, no.
As you like.
I have one of these things on my desk where
I can't see them. The
usually when we're
friggin'
recording
Apple
and I'm
Mini.
listening, I'll like mute my mic and I'm just sitting here just like.
The size it, and it's like the pick the nose, look, see what you got, then put in your ear and be like, will it combine or will it just disappear?
What?
And then it's gone magically.
We all do that.
We don't
we
all do that.
We all do that.
No, what we all do is the casual like, oh my nose is just itchy. Oh I'm not picking my nose. I'm just rubbing right on the rim of my nose. I'm not getting inside, it's just itchy right there, and then you wipe it away.
Man, this is what people were waiting for video.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're on Spotify only, I actually have someone here to help me with the nose. Jeeves, can you come pick my left? Thank you.
God, I wish that someone was. Yeah, you can't get away with this anymore. I thought Molly had walked in or something, and she was going to do it, and I was just going to be like, nope, disappointed.
Yeah, did I ever tell you this time that I like supremely embarrassed myself while I'm filming on a set once? It has to do with like nose. So I was in a pool doing some pool scenes, and so it's just like I got to be in the water up and out. And when I pop out, occasionally,
Before I just sleep?
They'll come fix something because I had like
Why would you be in water?
marking on my face at the time, and they needed to patch it up.
Why?
And then the lady there, and I was so used to her just touching my face in general because that's what the makeup people do. They come over and they go bah, 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 and they fix up whatever. You never know what it is. They could be putting clown makeup up. It doesn't matter. They do a great job. And she told me like, oh, you got a runny nose. And so she reaches and grabs tissues, and I go like this. I offer my nose for her to wipe my nose. And she looks at me, and she's holding the tissue out for me, and she kind of rears back like, you want me to wipe your nose for you? And I was like, holy shit. I didn't even think about it. I was just so ready. Like, there's a problem on my face. You're the face person. Here's my face.
My face lady!
A snot boy! We need snot boy to come in! Snot boy!
Yeah, exactly.
We got a runner!
Is that what
No.
the best boy does on this set? I need
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best boy for my runnies.
Yeah. So that was horrifically. I remember that and cringe to this day.
That's really funny though. No, I get that. I mean, I've been on set for all of maybe an hour or something because you have graciously invited me to participate in things that you have made before. But I've always, I'm not like you where you're on set all day every day, either in front of the camera or behind it. But even I got used to the makeup and the wardrobe people just coming over and just like, it's like they just walk up and start touching you. And it is kind of weird, but I could get used to that.
You do.
And I can see how a makeup artist would not want to blow your nose for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was perfectly capable. It was like I was in a pool and my hands were right here. I could have. I just didn't think.
Yeah. She said it and reached for the tissue, and you were like, oh.
It's weird that I can't see them and they're doing stuff and I don't know what they are doing.
Like Wubba in space, but for Wug with the full costume, there was less touching of me directly, and more adjusting the costume. I guess I had people come over and just like rip off the helmet in the face and like put ice on me. But they didn't really care about what my face looked like because it's like it was hidden by the mask anyway, so there wasn't much touch up. So then we did the full day with the blood costume. It was just like all of a sudden there'd be a hand on my thigh adjusting a pad.
Yeah. And then they would suplex you into the chair. Get in the chair! Ice everywhere.
Yeah, it was very dramatic of like it's time to cool down! Hurry and cool down! Hurry and relax! Okay.
I'm actually pretty good. Get in the chair.
The thing that bothered me about it was that they tried so hard to make sure I had a fresh ice cold beverage that I would take like 3 sips of like one of those little Gatorades and they'd be like, alright, and I was like, they want any more? I was like, no, that's fine. They'd sit me down the next time, they'd have a new Gatorade. It's like, I didn't even finish the last one. They're like, this one's colder. Okay. Like, I don't know what happened to those half. I hope someone drank.
That's the one thing about like being on set, because I told them the PAs were incredible, like production assistants are like invaluable on things. But I basically told them like, yeah, just whenever we yell cut, get him in the chair as fast as possible, try to get him cooled down. And they take their job very seriously. So I didn't even tell them like, they just like
ice cold beverage, fresh ice packs, 2 industrial fans, the handheld fan. The work. And if I was standing, they would find something to like manually fan me. Like it was wild how much like I was cold. I was cold while filming that day.
Yeah,
that's how good of a job they did.
Well, you know what, Mark? Not only was that an excellent story that was a very funny personal anecdote, very relatable, it was a great segue into today's talk. You were just talking about what Mark was talking about. I hate to break it. Points for Mark for being the pioneer there. Yeah! Points to Wade for being mean to Mark earlier.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Anyway, today's topic, it's really more of a literature review of sorts.
Of Mice and Men?
But no.
No, that's sad.
But we're going to be talking about if someone is an asshole. A lot of people who listen to this are probably also familiar with this website called Reddit. Well-known website, but it's growing in popularity. And there is a subreddit, a group on Reddit called M.A.D.D.Y, where people go to post stories from their lives, things that they've done or that have happened to them or whatever, and to ask the internet at large, am I the asshole in this situation? This is a subreddit that I frequent. There's a Twitter account that like summarizes and retweets a lot of this stuff, so I get it on Twitter too. It's good stuff. There's lots of funny stories. And I feel like I have a selection here of some interesting and or weird and or tough to call situations, and I kind of just want to discuss it. I want to give us an opportunity to really tell on ourselves, really expose our true selves, really self-report a little bit about whether or not we're the asshole by how we view these situations.
Okay, so we're going to be arbitrating whether or not asshole or not, and you'll assign points
based on who I think deserves them.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Point for Mark for forcing me to create
Okay, cool, thank you.
Well, I hope I get what I deserve.
You probably won't. So I'm just going to jump right into the first one here. I'm going to kind of read it to you, but you can have these in front of you. I sent you the links too. So
I'll listen only.
we're going to start with a post titled, Am I the Asshole for Calling My Wife Unreasonable for Backing Out of Spending Christmas with My Family After My Mother Rejected Her Cookie Sample?
What?
That's a long title.
It is. It's not the most concise title.
Christmas after mom rejected cookies.
Original poster's wife refused to attend Christmas because the poster's mother required I'll tell you the story, okay?
Tell me the story.
Every holiday, OP's mother would ask the women in the family, like sisters, sisters-in-law, cousins, any woman, just women only, I guess, in this family who cook dessert. She would ask for samples of any dessert recipes that they wanted to bring to like the family Christmas dinner celebration.
Okay.
And the mother-in-law would
taste all these and would basically like select which ones were good enough to get onto the Christmas dinner menu. So
Okay.
everyone is submitting and trying to get their dessert selected, and mother-in-law curates them. And the original poster's wife complains because the mother-in-law seems to deliberately reject everything she's ever submitted. Assuming this woman has tried multiple times to get recipes accepted by the judgmental mother-in-law and never accepted. For this year's Christmas, it was the same deal. Mother-in-law asked for samples so that she could select, and the poster's wife was once again rejected. He came home from work one day after she had gotten this news, and she was very upset that she had been rejected again. A poster didn't know what to say, would try to console his wife, and his wife ultimately said that she was going to back out of the invitation to attend family Christmas because she felt insulted, shunned, whatever. She was hurt by this, that her food was never good enough. Poster was stunned when wife declared this, but wife was pretty stern and pretty set in her ways. They had a whole argument about this, but the wife was hurt. The wife was crying and honestly, understandably upset, and was very strongly opinionated. They were not going to Christmas. Husband basically insisted that his wife was being super unreasonable, that she should just suck it up, and that it's the family Christmas. They have to go and spend time with family, and the wife is just being totally unreasonable, not acceptable. And as for extra info, the original poster of this added that his wife's were not the only samples that were rejected. His brother's wife was also rejected, and also his younger sister was rejected. He points out that his mother did not force anyone to participate. She invited them to submit samples, but they didn't have to. There's no reason they had to subject themselves to that. And apparently the original poster wants everyone to know that this is just about the dessert, since my mother tends to be very careful specifically about what desserts are allowed. Other types of dishes like appetizers and salads and whatever are apparently totally welcome. There's no process for that. So it's just that the mother-in-law is very picky about dessert for whatever reason. So is the man who posted this, the husband, an asshole for basically telling his wife that he needs to suck it up and be an adult, that it's not personal, he just doesn't make good dessert? Or
Yeah.
whatever.
I
Yes,
have a
but
question. Are the
for a different
cookies
reason.
terrible?
He doesn't make any comments on that, which I think is interesting. The way these posts go, for anyone who's not familiar with M.I.D.Y asshole type posts on Reddit, often the person who originally posted the story will post follow-up information, will answer questions, this sort of stuff. He doesn't seem to address that.
He says he tells her baking is amazing, so maybe he's being honest, hopefully.
Oh, he did say
He
that?
does
Was
say that.
part of it?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was
Alright,
reading
so-
along as Bob was summarizing.
Okay, yeah, I kind of skipped around. I should stick to the text.
He heard her cry despite telling her baking is amazing and people have preferences, that's all.
Yeah.
For me,
maybe not
there's-
just saying
there's
suck it
two
up.
people here.
Just say I'm sorry,
It's the
sweetheart, but we need to go to dinner.
Anything I've ever heard. It's the most divisive, like, welcome to the family. Submit something if you'd like. I'll judge it and tell you if it's worthy of my menu. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it literally sounds like the menu of the reaction that I watched.
I would ask how many desserts are part of it, but I bet that information isn't there. And in all honesty, what's stopping her from just bringing a plate of cookies and letting other people choose? I mean, that would
God, they were rejected. She can't.
Yeah, they're not on the menu. That's illegal.
They weren't allowed. They weren't welcome to her menu.
Yeah, what kind of? Also, it is kind of strange of like you go there and there's a fixed menu that you pick from.
Right?
Any Christmas or holiday dinner has been a potluck where everything's just strewn about on every surface you possibly
I mean,
could.
even for my family, we don't have like Christmas dinner.
Let's just give the benefit of the doubt that this is the family tradition and that's just how it's been forever and ever and ever. I think it's unreasonable.
To have that as a tradition. Oh, you think the
No,
wife
for the wife. I think the wife is unreasonable. I don't think the guy's an asshole. I think that if if he said all he said was you're being unreasonable, it is a family thing. There are other people rejected. You can commiserate with them at the party, but it's like family is more important than dessert, right? Shouldn't it be?
No, that's what the mother said. The guy's not too unreasonable. The mom is unreasonable. And it feels like there's an undertone in this story of like some dislike between the mom and the wife. Because like if the wife feels like it's more going on, then that means maybe she feels, I don't know, it seems like she feels like there's more to it than just the baking. Right?
Yeah, we will
doesn't this
make
read
conjecture
like
about
read
it.
between the lines? Why does she get upset if it was just like her dessert was rejected, unless she feels like it's rejected not because of the dessert's quality, but because the mom doesn't like her?
Yeah, for me, this is written from in the perspective of the guy, right? And the guy is like, this is our family tradition. He's on the side of his mom, who is the one with this weird, I have to test your dessert or it's not allowed in my house rule, thing, tradition. And he still includes the fact that the other people who were rejected are the other daughter-in-law, which, sure, and his younger sister, which maybe this is some sort of thing, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but a younger sister may or may not, may have made a family recipe and maybe mom makes it better. Who knows? The younger sister is not like a guest of honor. They're a family member, they're here, but the younger sister's not going to be offended by that, and maybe mom just didn't like what they had to offer. But the fact that the only other two rejected ones are both daughters-in-law does like stink a little to me of tension, like this mother-in-law is hard on her daughters-in-law or does not like them or is judgy about them. I don't know, but the fact that even this dude who's clearly on the side of his mom includes that, kind of helps me towards my take on it. Tension or something.
Does the mom have to cook it?
No,
Is it submitting? They bring it.
You submit your recipe, and if it's accepted, then you're allowed to bring.
Okay, because I was
The
going to say
recipe
if this wife is like an expert pâtissier, like and it's an extremely complex recipe, and the mom would have to make it.
They plan to bring it. So they do bring it. The mom doesn't have to make it. Why not just bring all of the desserts, have everyone try them, and then if you want to, like, rank them there and, like, vote on them. But, like,
Right?
Don't just be like, chocolate chip, not even white macadamia nut. You sluts, you're not welcome at my dinner table with that horrible meal. Like, what?
Mother-in-law is just sitting there like, slut! you slut! You married my son! I mean, this is not good enough. This cookie's not good enough.
What are you doing? Just spread your legs for my son, you slut!
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
more going on than the cookies, but also this tradition is shit.
so what?
Whoa!
Shit.
Whoa!
It's divisive and exclusive, not inclusive.
I have to agree with Wade. I am certainly look. I'm not trying to like be super judgy about a family tradition. That if this is what they've always done, I get that. But it's a shitty tradition for anyone who's in the wife's position here. In-laws can be tricky. In-laws can be very different from you. They can be judgy because you've stolen their son or daughter by marrying them and moving somewhere, whatever. Like, it's complicated. A system where the mother-in-law gets to judge everyone, or anyway, all the women in the family for something like this is just an opportunity for a lot of pettiness and insecurity and tension. Why would you want a tradition that makes the holidays more tense and sets that stage for potentially more conflict than you already have? When the holidays, traditionally, are the time when everyone fights the most.
True.
Piss everybody off before we bring them all together under one roof.
Your uncle gets drunk and you start talking politics or whatever. Like, there's just is tension when you're with your family. Why would you create more? It seems
But
insane.
I see this as an opportunity for peacemaking. This is clearly a matriarchal kind of family tradition where, the grandmother or the mother of their family gets to make decisions where probably, it's not always an opportunity to do that. If it's an opportunity where they get to feel important, they get to feel in charge, they get to feel like they are the provider and arbitrator of this meal for everyone to get together over. And also, we still haven't ruled out the idea that the cookie was just bad.
That's possible. That is
It is
possible.
entirely possible. I'm totally fine with this thing just to make them feel better, the mother here. if that is, because again, for me, the point is not the dessert. It's the point is getting together as a family, and it's kind of their house, their rules. You know what I mean?
I agree, and if the people don't like the rules, don't go to the party, which is what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying if I was in this sort of position that I would tell them they had to change their tradition.
Right.
Just objectively, I think it's a really batshit insane tradition because it creates an opportunity for anyone who wants to be petty to just bring that right out in the open before you're even together.
Did you see the update too, where his brother's wife's doing the same thing and not going?
Yes.
I didn't see
So
that.
it seems like there's an update. Just as my brother told me his wife's doing the same thing as my wife and decided to back out of the invitation to spend Christmas. It seems like this thing is not having the inclusive effect, if that is the effect, or the intention at least, and that the in-laws are like, yeah, I keep getting rejected too, and I want nothing to do with this. This is shit, and I don't want it. I don't like it, so I'm not going. The evidence, I believe, is on my side.
I don't think the intention is togetherness. It just the qualification is whether or not this guy is an asshole for saying that's unreasonable. The evidence that I see is that it's removing yourself from family over dessert. And dessert really just doesn't rank that highly in my importance of it. If there is other alienation, then that is what it is. It's not declared here. There is the inference of the other sibling. Maybe they're both really petty. Like, I'm sure that also the mother could be petty. Like, everyone could be petty in here, or else this wouldn't be happening in the first place. But as far as the guy being an asshole, like, he just wants his family together. And it is a bit of a statement to say, you don't like my dessert, you'll never see me again.
That's why it feels like there's more going on here than meets the eye. I don't think the dude is too big of an asshole. I definitely feel like the mother's the asshole for carrying this tradition and seemingly alienating the in-laws.
Hey, Mark, you're approaching this the way that I approach these. I often find myself on like the wrong side of these sort of posts because when I read this, I totally see where you're coming from, Mark. Where you're not inferring a lot, right? You read the facts and you're like, okay, well, given that this is the situation, and I'll ask you to officially draw your conclusions in a second. But you're just looking at it and saying like, yeah, they could be really petty, they could hate each other for the reasons. Maybe one is toxic towards the other. Who knows? But you're just saying, based on what we have, what you're drawing your conclusion. Wade is, I feel like, representing the internet, because I feel like on these asshole posts, a lot of the top comments are someone who's like, so she said your dessert wasn't good enough. So what she's really doing is saying that you're not really good enough for her son. And this leads back to the beginning of your relationship. You probably didn't foster enough of a relationship with the mother when you were dating the son, and then when you got married, there was a resentment because the mother-in-law felt neglected. People on the internet will just like create whole narratives about all this shit that happened. It's not in the explanation at all, but they're just like, clearly you're the asshole because you didn't give the mother-in-law a birthday gift during the first year that you were dating your son.
Clearly you're an asshole for dating this bad cookie-baking lady.
Yeah.
I feel
Clearly,
like
husband's not the asshole because his wife couldn't be bothered to make a good enough cookie to get his mother-in-law in trouble. Yeah, but anyway, the way this is supposed to
I just think the choice of words is wrong.
We've all said our positions.
The choice of words was
You
wrong.
must pick one of them for your conclusion, okay?
I feel
Now,
he's
if
right,
you
but the
are
choice of words
not
were
an
wrong.
asshole, in this case, the husband is not an asshole. For his
He's not an
decision.
asshole, but the choice of words were
He's
wrong.
the asshole. You're the asshole. Everybody sucks here, or no assholes here. Those are the four conclusions that you're allowed to draw on an Am I the Asshole thread. So I feel like I know where you land, but please, for the record, state your official judgment.
He's not an asshole, but the choice of
I
words
can't
could have
say that
been
everyone
chosen
sucks.
better.
So I can't declare that. I'm just gonna say not the asshole, specifically to the guy saying what he is. He's not the asshole, and I can't.
Well, you
make
are
any
allowed
other-
to say if someone else is the asshole. Like in this case, if you, I feel like Wade, you might think that the mother-in-law is. You can do that.
I wouldn't declare the wife or the mother the asshole because I don't know enough to make that declaration. Like it could be that the mother is extremely controlling, and I have definitely heard and seen of various other higher, older family members like going on power trips and stuff like this. I just don't know. I can't know.
All right. What do you think, Wade?
I mean, I kind of agree with Mark's decision there, the way he worded it. What? My initial reaction is the mother's the asshole. But I also, like you said, made a lot of assumptions where it feels like there's more going on here. if they had in fact have a great relationship outside of this one holiday tradition, and the wife just really thinks her cooking is that good, and maybe it sucks. Like, what if her cooking is just terrible? What if it's an awful cooking? And the mom that has this tradition, she's like, oh, she used all salt and no sugar. I don't want to serve this. And it's just like flat out terrible. That is possible. I cannot rule that out. So
Don't listen to Mark's reasonable discussion, okay? Draw inferences. Be wild. That's what we're here for, man.
inclination is the mother's the asshole, but I don't think the dude is entirely an asshole. I think he's stuck. I mean, stuck between a family tradition you've done for a long time, and this is what the third instance that this has happened. Like, this is just the third time her cookie's been rejected. It's not like it's been 10 years and she's submitted every year for 10 years. This is the third time. So that's kind of a small sample size, no pun intended. So it's hard to say that he's truly being an asshole about it by saying, like, depending on how he said it to her. It sounds somewhat unreasonable to be like, I'm not going at all, if it is in fact just this one little thing. I believe there's more going on than just this one little thing, in which case it feels like the mother-in-law is kind of the asshole. But I don't want to say that definitively because it's hard to tell in 3 paragraphs their entire life story.
Alright, you heard it. Wade thinks the mother-in-law's the asshole, and she's not.
Mother-in-law, my goodness, I can't believe that.
Good. And I like what both of you did there, and you both get points, but not the same amount.
Yay!
Yay.
Or boo, depending.
Well, you'll never know till the end, when I tell you. I do feel like the one thing we didn't touch on here that I feel about this one is, if I'm the husband in this situation, it's a real tough spot because I understand loyalty to your family and enjoying family traditions, but also loyalty to your wife and supporting your wife and making sure that you're not supporting your family in, being shitty to your significant other. And it's a tough spot, but I feel like husband's job here is to broker a peace. To have talk to mom and have a talk where mom, calls or they sit down or whatever and talks to his wife and it's like, look, I don't hate you, whatever, if we have issues, we should talk about it. I don't know what the solution is, but I would hope that the husband would back up his wife, even if he, doesn't, I hope he doesn't back her up by being like, I'm not going either, fuck those guys! But, there can be tensions, and I hope that he worked this out, ultimately, because that is a tough spot. And like Wade said, who knows? Maybe there's just bad. That's interesting. Interesting discussion.
Hard to know.
Yeah.
It feels like there's tension there, and yeah, like you said, the husband needs to talk to the mom and be like, well, fuck mama. You hate her, or just her cooking?
Also, not disrespect his family.
Good luck, dude.
Right.
You asshole.
That's old now, so whatever happened is in the past, and it's probably fine.
They're divorced, they're never talking again, he's completely distant from his family, he's living in a cave by himself.
He lost everything.
They'll never have human contact again, all because of this.
Goddamn white chocolate macadamia nut cookies! I told her to make chocolate chip! Anyway, this next one is a whole legacy of confusing feelings.
Oh, good.
We're gonna move now to discussing the post posted by CareBear_throwaway. The title is, Am I the asshole for giving my daughter a stuffed bear filled with human hair?
Excuse me?
I'll read you the story. And
Care Bear posted a story about a bear with human hair. I guess the name, what?
I'm gonna warn you, the story does not clarify why this happens very well. It just explains what happened.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
My wife and I just had our daughter, our first child, 3 months ago. Our family has a tradition where the firstborn will get a special stuffed animal. I got one from my mom when I was born, who got one from her mother, who got one from her father, so on and so on. This is a generational tradition.
Okay.
And the reason it's special is because it's stuffed with the parent's hair. The way this works is once a child is old enough to start getting their hair cut, parents will save the hair, as much of the hair as they can, of the firstborn child. And when that child is grown and becomes a parent themselves, the new grandparent, who saved all the hair, will use that child's childhood hair to make a stuffed animal by hand to give to the new baby. So the grandparent gives the baby a stuffed animal filled with the baby's parent's hair from when they were a child. Obviously, the hair of the toy represents the new parent's connection to the child. It is a tangible measure that shows that they'll always be close by.
Oh.
The care taken by the grandparent in collecting all the hair and using it to hand make this toy represents the child's connection to its family's history. It is a tangible measure that shows the extended family will always support them.
Does it?
The stuffed animal is a way of connecting this new life to their new family.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, he's writing it so succinctly that it sounds declarative, like he's reading from a law book, but he's just saying words.
Does it sound like facts when it's written like this?
Well, you know, to profess your love to your new spouse, it's best to get a heart, a stuffed heart, and you fill it with your first pubes that you shave off. And say,
That's
to show your
thoughtful.
true love and lust for your partner.
Yeah, that's thoughtful and hot.
Yeah. It makes you seem closer. It shows that that hair has been preserved for them and them alone. Declarative statement 3.
Anyway, so the story here is the man. This is the father is posting this. His mom spent all this time making a bear with his hair in it, and when he was excited to give it to his new daughter, and instead of thinking it was a very sweet and obvious gift, the man's wife thought it was really disgusting. And
No, I would agree.
Weird hair bear anywhere near her daughter.
I agree.
Unhygienic, but the guy said, no, the hair is clean and well preserved. And they argued about it because, of course, they did. He was very taken aback that such a touching family tradition would be so repulsive to his wife, and that she was being cruel and callous.
Cruel and
Maybe
callous?
she's not the person he thought she was.
Okay, so they didn't
Excuse
talk about this
me?
ahead of time. He just was like, I'm going to do this tomorrow, and blindsided
Well, who
her.
doesn't expect the hair bear?
Yeah, who doesn't expect the hair bear? I don't.
Mom just finished making the hair bear, and he was like, died.
How would they not discuss this?
Yeah.
Where would
The
it come up?
communication shit.
Well, he would have his bear. He would have his bear.
Yes.
He would have his bear.
He would have his
I guess
bear.
he's never really done. That's the bear my grandfather gave me.
I feel like at some point when you're close to somebody, a weird family tradition like that, and it's weird,
It is
will
weird.
come up. Now,
Yeah, no.
depending on how she reacted, though, I mean, it's weird, but I don't know if it deserves like a World War III type reaction. Did she like?
She so it
She was callous
escalated.
and
She
cruel,
called
you
it.
said?
She called it weird and culty.
Weird.
And his apparently the husband's mother found out, and she got mad because she made this bear decision, and that got the wife to get her family involved, and apparently called him some vulgar names, and so it's a big like family-wide fight about the bear and liking it or not liking it. So
Maybe
she
that
wasn't
was in the
just
point.
chill. She wasn't just like, "Ooh, I don't want this." She was apparently a little vulgar and it escalated.
Yeah. I mean, you can still overreact. This is weird. It would throw me off, and I'd be a little bit like. But there's definitely you can overreact to it. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's anyone who is reading this. No one would disagree that it's weird because
It's
none
very
of
weird.
us have that tradition. And if you don't have that tradition, you're never going to like. You're gonna. It's hair. Imagine if it was fingernail clippings that you would collect and put in a bear, and then you
Every scab you accrue as a young person.
I
goes
think
in
hair is a little
scab
bit like
bag.
at least hair is soft and not blood. But yeah, it's still weird.
But I'm gonna equate this so people can at least listening to this get in the same headspace of where the guy is coming from. I'm not agreeing with it, but this is just a common thing that people overlook, right?
Okay.
So in America, many men, or like boys when they're born, are circumcised.
Right.
That is a tradition that started because of a cereal man 100 years ago. But it is passed down from generation to generation because the father's like, of course, cut the tip of his dick. Cut it. Do it right now. Do it. Make it like me. And that's weird when you think about it. It's quite strange. I'm not saying one way or another, like whether you're circumcised or not circumcised. I'm not saying you're weird. The concept, if that was never a thing to you, would be strange because you've never heard of it before. However, there's many people out there who it is a tradition and,
Yeah,
and it's even part of a religion. But I'm
Yeah,
talking outside of the
culturally,
religion.
it's unquestionably normal to a large group of people. But yeah, if
Of
you've
course.
never heard that, I can see what you're saying. If you encountered that for the first time when you just had your baby and your husband or whomever was like, circumcise him, I can see
Yeah.
how you'd be like,
All right, who's got the knife?
yeah.
Who's got the knife
Sure.
to solve this right now? Yeah, and I'm saying, like, all I'm bringing that up about, I know people are going to launch into the discussion that I'm trying to bring that up so people can understand it's to this guy a tradition not like that, but similar vein that not many people else would know about, and then the wife's reaction being like, that's freaking weird, that's really weird. I don't think I want that. It's not identical, but just in the same headspace.
The dude's the asshole here, and the fact that he didn't tell her ahead of time.
Yeah.
This should have been something that was discussed, ironed out before it was time to deliver the bear.
Yes.
However, I don't think hair in a bear, it's weird to me, but it's not like, because they make wigs and stuff out of real people's hair, right? Like, that's not uncommon.
Yeah, but not a bear.
And there's, yeah, so I don't find it like a World War III level thing. It's weird to me, but like, if she super overreacted, got her family involved, and was being really just nasty to him, and like, not my daughter, and that kind of thing, like, that feels like a gross overreaction to this. I think it could have all been avoided by communicating ahead of time.
Yes.
He's the asshole for that. But she shouldn't blow up and overreact to it. Just,
I agree
there are
with
worse
Wade.
things. There's the last mother's tradition. It's a lot worse than this one.
I disagree with
I agree with Wade.
I disagree completely.
Divide and conquer my in-laws.
But
Alright.
all right. So what I'm saying here is like whatever, all that aside. The parents who made the bear, whatever, family tradition, whatever. It's the parents' decision together to do whatever with the child because it's their child. So they have to agree no matter what. So I agree with Wade that it should have been discussed.
Yes.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for the wife to be adamant that they're not okay with this.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't have to bend their own desires to cater towards a tradition that they were never aware of or knew in the first place.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
actually do think that the guy is the asshole for never talking about this in the first place before
Yes.
it happened and expecting the wife to just go along with it.
Yeah.
So I don't
You
even
gotta-
think that
yeah.
anything I heard there was super nuclear. I think that if you were thinking just to protect your child, and I don't know how old this child is, that you wouldn't want some strange ancient hair bear that's probably cursed. Like, who knows how cursed that thing is? Who knows how much hair they've passed down from each other bear in the previous generation, stuffed a little more, but they didn't get enough when he was a boy. You know, they got like, sample backwards. I don't know about that bear.
I will add that I read a little bit of this whenever Bob was talking about it. And in the paragraph, again, this is from the dude's perspective, so we don't have her side of it. But she says it was gross and disgusting. She wouldn't have it around her daughter. She said it was unhygienic, and if he ever put that thing near her daughter, she would throw it in the trash. So there was a little bit of like, it's from his perspective again, so take that for what you will. It does sound like she was a bit like, no, like very just not even willing to discuss it. Just kind of how it's presented. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But again, discussion ahead of time, solved. You guys know what's happening. You don't have a baby? Well, we have this tradition. Oh, no. Yes. Let's talk. Let's argue. Whatever. Have that solved before it's like, here's the bear.
Yeah. I can see this post being made from the perspective of he went into this being like, of course this is going to happen. This is tradition. So he didn't even come into this discussion with like, let's talk about it. So therefore, the wife could only be like, I need to make a stance. You're just going to do this? Absolutely not, because it's kind of you force people into extreme positions by taking a solid stance from the get-go and not offering. So I think if anything, these were probably equivalent energies that they were bringing to this argument.
Yeah. He's the asshole for not discussing it ahead of time. I feel like that's the problem. There should have been communication before the baby was there.
Yep.
Agreed.
Are you both He's the asshole? Everyone's the asshole?
He's the asshole for not communicating it in the first place. But the wife is not the asshole for overreacting.
But all of this would have been solved if they discussed it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she overreacted. I think she reacted of the exact same energy. I think, yeah, he's the asshole. I don't think it's not wrong to have a family tradition. It's not, unless it's hurting someone. But I mean, this does seem relatively.
Yeah, this one
harmless.
is not dangerous. It seems like it's just.
Somebody, apparently he replied to somebody and said he purposely didn't tell her so it would be a nice surprise. That,
Well,
he becomes the asshole.
then he becomes the asshole.
Surprise, my baby hair.
You'll never guess what's behind my back. You'll literally never guess.
I don't know. I don't think the tradition, it's weird. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. But it's definitely something you discuss before you just do it.
How do you think that went? Like, did he pull the bear out and you're like, guess what it's made of?
Well, and I'm sure he gave it. I'm sure he gave it to her, and it was like, oh yeah, Grandma handmade this for our baby. And the mother was kind of happy about it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He could have just not brought up that it was a hair bear.
Yeah.
No, I hope he leaned into her ear and he's just like, it's stuffed with me. What? My hair fills this bear. What? I'm giving it to our daughter right now.
It's like one of those Build-A-Bears. Every time the dog squeezes the paw, the bear's like, and I'll always be with you.
The
Jesus.
recorded sound of him being shaved as a baby.
God. Do you think that Grandma didn't hand make it and went into Build-A-Bear with a
Oh my God.
full of just this weird hair?
They went to put the bear on the big thing where they fucked the stuffing into the bear, and the grandma was like, no, I've got the stuffing. Don't ask what it is. I'm tired of your judgment, Build-A-Bear people.
She gets the guy to open like the glass cabinet and takes out like the cotton or whatever and then puts in the hair just in the thing and starts scooping. I don't know how I've never done Build-A-Bear. I imagine it's like the little like claw machine where it just goes and grabs a
No,
clump of hair
Bob's
and
description
puts it in.
was correct.
No, the way they stuff bears with Build-A-Bears, there's a big thing with all the stuffing, and it's like fluffing around.
And they like literally put it in the ass.
Comes out of it. That is where the fluff comes out. And when you get an empty new bear or whatever, there's a hole in its ass, and you take it and you feed it on the pole, and then you turn on the machine and you go until the bear is fucked full of fluff. That's what happens.
Completely right
That's
about
not,
that.
yeah, that's not a bit. That's what they do.
So for the hair, I hope it's like how you like siphon gasoline. They put like a little tube in the bag of hair and like, and then like put it in the bear and just the hair flows.
I mean, yeah.
Man. Hope no one was eating.
And he's like, "Puh, puh, oh my baby hair. Like, pulls it off and just tongue.
God, you know, why do we all know what siphoning is? I thought that was going to be a much more useful skill, like, because I learned it as a child, like, oh, yeah, siphoning, that's super cool. I'm going to need that when I'm an adult. I've never siphoned anything out of anything in my life.
Well, the apocalypse hasn't started yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Prepared to get all the gasoline you need once you're in that situation.
Yeah, wait, I've actually been siphoning your hair to build you a giant stuffed bear.
It's gonna take you many years to get enough.
A
Yeah.
life-size Wade doll shows up stuffed with his own hair. Yeah. Anyway,
sweet.
I don't know how I'd react to that family tradition, but I pretty much agree with you guys, and I think you both deserve points for candid discussion on that one. This dude should have definitely brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like how does that not come up? Like you said, he didn't throw his hair bear away. He's got that somewhere because it's such a family tradition, and it's never come up that the wife was like, "Man, you love that bear, huh? Is that just like your first teddy bear or something?" And oh, it's just it's special.
What happens to your hair bear when you pass away? Does it go down to like this one person has like 30 hair bears at this point?
You just got to sew them in half and like stitch it on like a Frankenstein's bear that'll start.
So everyone's got like a little hair
shambling
bear,
in.
but they're like the family Franken bears, just like with weird hairs from generations like leaking out the neck.
A collection that's stored in a glass case, and when you inherit it, you have to display it in your house somewhere.
Yeah, I just realized that with hair, it's not like stuffing. The hairs would start to poke through the fabric, like if it's handled in any capacity. So this bear is actually hairy.
Yeah. And it becomes more hairy the more you hug it. All you have to do is hug it and it gets more cozy.
What a feature.
It gets snugglier. Like when Daddy doesn't shave for a few days. Yeah, anyway.
To each their own, but talk about it. The love of God. Talk about it.
Yeah, I feel like the conclusion so far between these two is family traditions. Warn your significant other, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I have a few more, and I thought they would all be funny, but I have one more I really, really want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. We're out of time. Oh, man, that was fast.
Yeah, that's good. We could do one more. This could be like kind of
Which
a
one?
round. The one titled, "Am I the asshole for being mad that my boyfriend won't make noodles the way I like?" Okay, so this is posted by a woman who is dating a boy, and they started living together at the beginning of the pandemic. They moved in together so that they didn't have to like isolate, so that they could at least be pandemic partners or whatever. So they started living together, and when they moved in together, the guy, the boyfriend, took over all of the like cooking and food. They split up the household chores this morning when people away, like I'll cook, I'll grocery shop, you vacuum and mop. I'll do laundry, but you fold it. I think that's people can do what they want, but I think that's really
Why did I kind of do
so
that?
anyway, they divided everything up.
Weird.
You're weird and wrong. I just, that's not how I would have always ever survived. But, yeah, so they moved in together, and he is the chef. Grocery shop together, and they split up the chores. And, this girl touches like her noodles, like spaghetti marinara noodles in like a very particular way. She was very picky, and she loves pasta, but she doesn't like it to be too saucy. She doesn't like a big glob of sauce overwhelming the delicate flavor of the noodles. She likes an essence of sauce flavor on the noodles. And so how her dad always prepared her spaghetti, he would make her special, separate from everyone else's. He would make family spaghetti, and then he would take hers out and put it in like a strainer and rinse off all the sauce. Literally take it to the sink and with water, rinse off all the tomato sauce flavor, and then give her these noodles that had been basically like dipped in sauce and then cleaned completely. And that gave her pasta with an essence of tomato sauce, but not too much, just an essence. And apparently the boyfriend, when he started cooking, agreed to make her pasta the way she liked it. And she thought that had been happening. And at one point, he made them pasta, and she was like, "This is good." And the boyfriend was kind of sort of like mocking her, and he was kind of like, "Oh yeah, you like that essence of pasta sauce? Yeah, you like that? You like the way I cooked that for you?" And apparently, it comes out that this dude had never done that. He thought that was ridiculous. He had never done that.
I mean, it is
Just
kind of
boiling
ridiculous.
her pasta and then giving it to her plain, without wasting the pasta sauce and like rinsing it down the sink and all this. He was just giving her plain boiled noodles. She didn't notice. She still thought she was getting essence of tomato noodles with the whole process. She thought he was doing what her dad had always done for her. And so it comes out that he never did that. He was just giving her plain noodles. And she was like, "You're an asshole. What? You lied to me. You lied and you never did what I wanted." And he was kind of like, "Yeah, well, you're insane because you want to waste food, one, by washing it down the sink, and you think you can taste pasta sauce that has been literally washed away from the noodles you're eating. And if you cook noodles in pasta sauce, yes, they will absorb a little bit of it, and maybe there's just such a thing as an essence of tomato, whatever." It's a weird habit that this girl has, that she likes her noodles this way. And the dude just straight up lied to her. And if you stop reading there, I feel like it's a kind of funny picture, because clearly the guy did lie to her, but it doesn't seem like that serious of a lie. And, it didn't hurt anything. She was just eating plain noodles instead of wash noodle or whatever. But if you go and she has some edits and stuff, and my favorite and possibly the most important one is I found some things out in the subsequent argument. First, he is not actually a pharmacist like he always said he was. He just works at CVS. Second, he has actually cheated on me multiple times with other girls that go to my college. Lastly, and worst of all, he's not even allergic to dogs. He just doesn't like them, and that's why we never got a dog.
Okay.
Okay,
All
there's
those
several
are really
things.
bad, but she wasted food, so she's still the asshole.
So the question posed is this
what-
girl an asshole for being really mad at her boyfriend because he lied to her and didn't give her weird essence of tomato noodle dish that she liked and whatever. But all that other information also exists. So, interesting story, right? Let's talk about the spaghetti issue first in isolation before we address everything else.
No. Okay, fine. Then
Wow, that
she
not
is the
way I
asshole.
thought it was going to go at all. I thought he was just going to be like, he just drowns it in sauce every time and she doesn't like it. Because I'm the type of guy, I used to like spaghetti and I would have a tiny thing of sauce on the side and literally the sauce water would run to the other side and I would eat only that. I didn't like the essence of sauce. This is different, however, that went differently. So I'll let Wade first the pontification.
So I'm once again going to avoid answering the question directly by saying, here's what he should have done, is offered her a taste test where he offered her like 3 sets of noodles, one with essence of butter, one with essence of tomato, one that had nothing on it at all, and see if she noticed the difference and be like, see, you can't really taste it, maybe you can avoid wasting the sauce. And presented it that way instead of lying and betraying her trust. That would
Okay.
solve the problem.
That would solve the
I
problem.
think lying to her and saying he's doing it when he's not is a betrayal of trust, even though it's kind of stupid.
Yes.
Because obviously she didn't notice the difference, so she would have liked it just fine.
Right.
But he should have at least, the first time he did it, been like, I actually didn't do it, you didn't notice the difference. Maybe you like him playing just fine. Rather than continuing the charade, like, I don't know, continuing it.
The charade went on for over a year.
Oh,
Yeah, I
God
don't know,
damn.
I'm assuming they did this at least once a month, right? At least once a month. So that's a long time to lie to somebody and make them think you're doing something like. Because even if the actual taste isn't there, I think part of what matters is like her dad did that for her, and it's like the care that goes into it that matters to her. It's like the symbolism of doing that for her, probably. So this should have been handled differently by the dude. I think she didn't necessarily need this essence of sauce done. It's true it wasn't making a big difference. But I think that the way he presented it and did it was wrong. He's an asshole for that.
Yeah.
Old assertion, I like it.
Yeah, there is something, and we all know this. Food is also made with love. Like, you put care into the food and how you make it. Yeah, it's like we said, it's a tradition. It doesn't make sense, of course it doesn't, and eventually you could bring that up. But it's kind of a common theme for some guys out there to think that they know better. And, they think, oh, clearly I know the right answer because if you're washing it off, it's the same anyway, yada yada. Some people can have preferences to complain, but God, what is wrong with people trying to just talk about something? Why is this such a difficult thing to be like, you like essence, wouldn't that just be the same as plain noodles? And then she would go, no, there was something about it, I swear, it might sound crazy. I bet, too, I say it might sound crazy, but something about it, just having that tiny hint, which maybe would, like sauce can stain noodles, sauce is very stainy, like maybe there's the tiniest thing, and you wouldn't notice it if you thought it was there, but that's all placebo effect. Placebo effect is a real thing. Like, there probably, if you put 2 plates side by side, one that was sauced and more, it's very weird, don't get me wrong, it's weird.
No,
But
the first sentence of this is, okay, this sounds dumb, but hear me out.
yeah,
She
exactly.
knows it's
Yeah.
a weird thing that she just has.
And that's fine. Like, if you're in a partnership, wouldn't you want to provide things just the way that they want? There was a whole, series of TikToks that I saw about this girl that, this guy, got her gift and they broke up because he was trying to get her back. And he got her, gold jewelry and flowers. And she made this post saying, like, I have told him so many times, I don't like gold. And yet he gets me golden chocolate or something. I don't like golden chocolate or something like that. And that's what he gets me. And that's when I knew it wasn't gonna work. Because he wasn't listening. It's not the point of like just that it's noodles washed. It's that it's made in the way that makes her happy. And anyone, if it was a girl looking for a guy, it's like what makes him happy, that's what you should want to do.
Yeah, the line's the problem, and presenting it, and then just being like, I've not been doing what you like this whole time. It's not like some grandiose, I was right. It's like I've been betraying and lying to you, but you can trust me on everything else, honest. That's like, that's such a horrible foundation
of this part of it. It's not like this. He found out accidentally and he was like, I didn't want to, you sure we weren't supposed to find out, like shit. He one night was just like, do you like those noodles I made? With that sauce I definitely rinsed right off of there for you?
I imagine he grew like an evil mustache for this one presentation too. You like the sauce I made?
But anyway, big surprise. And I generally agree with both of you. And it's a good point, Mark, that you're essentially ignoring the explicit wishes of your significant other is a great way to show how little you care. But especially when it's something that's very straightforward and easy to address.
Very easy.
But also, a man who lied and then mocked his girlfriend after years of lying to her face, lied about his job, cheated on her with multiple girls that she knew, and hates dogs.
Oh, yeah. It turns out he's kind of a douche.
I can't believe a guy that would lie and betray somebody would lie and betray somebody.
Yeah, no, weird, right?
Weird.
I don't know if the spaghetti fits in with the severity of the rest of the lies.
Right.
It goes in the same column, I guess, if we're keeping track of it.
It just establishes a pattern of bad communication and not listening, not caring. I don't know, it just represents, I guess, where it's kind of hints.
Do you think he had a curtain in the kitchen, like to the archway? I don't remember the door being like...
He actually went through more trouble to lie about it. In case she ever wandered in the kitchen, he had like the strainer set up. And he dumped a little box sauce in the sink.
Yeah. He didn't even open it, just the unopened can, the same one for a year.
She walked in and he's just like, oh, I just rinsed it. Look, there's tomatoes in the sink. I did it. We can see all the evidence of you having done that.
Oh, you wouldn't waste it, right? That was the problem, you didn't want to waste it. So it was like, I just ran the water, you just missed the tomato chunks in this thing. Oh, right there.
He did not do this out of the goodness of his heart because he's concerned about food scarcity or people struggling to get their dietary needs met around the world.
He wasn't worth the effort. He had 2 more dates that night he had to make dinner for. He didn't have time for this one.
You know what? Things like this always make me curious, and maybe I'm just not old enough. Lying about being allergic to dogs, that's what you can do, but I can see how you could get away with that. Who's going to be like, oh, let me do a scratch test and make sure you're allergic? How do you lie about being a pharmacist, or anyway lie about your job and get away with that?
I mean, technically, people in CVS are pharmacists.
No, she's like, oh, I'm just gonna stop. She sends him a text, right? Like, oh, I forgot to. You got my keys in your backpack. I'm gonna stop by and pick them up, okay? And he's like wearing his CVS shirt, stocking his shelf. And he's like,
holding like a gun to like the actual pharmacist who would go behind the counter and stand there, like, yeah, see, it's me and my buddy Bill, right, Bill? Working together.
Runs back to the pharmacy counter. He's like, you gotta give me a jacket and let me in there. I know it's protected by a code and that's probably illegal. And there's like drugs in there. Well, yeah, I'm lying to my girlfriend. Come on.
I shouldn't have told my other significant other I was a Fortune 500 CEO.
Do you think he ordered like a lab coat off of Amazon? You know, the one that says Dr. Cummings on it? The one that I have? And he's just like, alright, babe, going to my pharmacist job. A lot of drugs to count.
Yeah, I'm making pharmacy money, but we're gonna have plain noodles every night for a year and barely afford our rent.
No, he puts it in Tupperware and brings it over to the other girls' houses. And he's like, look at all the sauce I'm saving. Hey, man, you want sauce today?
This man
I
brings
mean, I
me
guess-
so much sauce. He must be
I
loyal.
guess you just gotta be really bold and a quick thinker with the lying on your feet situation. But like, god damn,
It's exhausting. What a horrible life.
why would you need to lie? I mean, maybe this girl was impressed by him being pharmacist, but why does anyone do that shit? And by anyone, I mean guys, I guess, because it seems like it's guys a lot of the time. But like, I don't know, it seems strange. My favorite response to this also is this is a long comment, and it starts with everybody sucks here. You both sound dreadful, to be honest. And then they go through a lot of stuff that we talked about, basically pointing out how they both suck, and it ends with, you deserve each other. Which I feel like is just, wow, funny, but incredibly untrue.
Yeah, what?
This person read this and was like, oh, my video is not working. That's good. Uh-oh.
Oh, fine, probably, right?
Hello? Can you hear me on this?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, my video broke.
Well, whatever, we'll just carry it on.
I'm like, what was I? Oh, yeah. But this person looked at what the facts laid out here and was like, yeah, he lied to you about your pasta and tricked you and then made fun of you for it and then cheated on you and lied about his career and he hates dogs. And you eat weird spaghetti. Both of you guys. I hate you. Oh, you sound awful.
Yeah.
I want to point out, though, in the original post, I believe he insisted on cooking, right? It's not like she had even the
wanted
option
that.
of doing it her way. He insisted on doing it, and he said that her food habits were cute. And then he betrayed his fight. Again, I think it's a silly thing to do, but I get it. And she should have followed through with it, or at least like presented an option of like, let's see if you really do care about this, and maybe we can not waste the sauce if you really can't tell the difference.
Right.
If you want to
Yeah.
just speak up, like,
She communicated her wants as clearly as she could.
and he acted like he was going along with it, which is a problem.
I agree with that comment. They're
Yep.
both assholes.
We all lose because humanity loses.
All right.
I'm still mad at that mother-in-law.
What's wrong with the mother-in-law?
I'm still mad at her. Horrible tradition.
Oh, I'm back?
Yeah, you're back. I'm sorry, I won't ever say that again. The mother-in-law's great. I'm sorry, don't leave me.
I think my camera being broke finally Riverside was like, whoop, we should fix that. Yeah, so this was fun, guys. You could have been a little wilder with your claims and assumptions, but that's okay.
Welcome to how it feels when I host, man.
Yeah, maybe it was a situation with the mother-in-law where she, like us, just randomly assigns points in a completely nonsensical manner and then picks a winner, and it just so happens to alienate
She just has a
partial
wheel. She's
in a row.
spinning. No, who gets to have their dessert?
All right. Well, I think that's going to be the end. And good discussion. All you both heard points on that last one as well. Let me tally up the scores. Okay, after checking over my notes, it looks like, despite being totally rational, incredibly reasonable, well thought out,
What is rationable?
you know what rational means, and honestly quite brilliant during the course of the entire episode, Mark did not accumulate enough points to beat today's winner, Wade.
Thank you. I just want to say, going from being the first ever host of this podcast to the first ever winner with video on Spotify really seems fitting for me. Thank you for the opportunity. And subreddit, which one of us is the asshole? I guess let us know.
Yeah, with no context or explanation.
No, yeah, that's
just
exactly it.
done to each other.
Which one of us is the asshole? That's it.
Just based on having listened to and or now watched every episode of this podcast, which I assume that you have done, which one of us is the asshole?
None. You guys are both, all three are very lovely.
Wait, hold on. Maybe.
Voldemort, the mysterious fourth person,
Yeah,
Will,
yeah.
Amy, Molly, and Mandy should host the next episode. The options are a lot of things.
Yeah. So I was brilliant, really well thought out, very
Yeah,
rational,
genius level almost.
Genius level.
Yeah.
What were Wade's qualifications during?
Wild inferences, Chained only by Mark's wisdom and calm demeanor over the course of the debate. Basically, Wade was more fun.
I think the mother-in-law was an alien who was stealing the cookies to fuel her bacon.
Good point, sir. Hearing.
Oh God, no! I think she was an undead come back from a necromancer's spell.
They were making a familial chain of voodoo dolls to wreak havoc on future generations forevermore.
All part of a spell to undo our current timeline and get us back into the right one.
And it was a human effigy, so you could ask questions. Their souls are trapped in the bears.
It's already decided, but you both earned some points there, so that was exciting. Mark, do you have a loser speech?
This is wildly unfair. But hey, that's life. I'll take it with grace and dignity, and I will know in my heart of hearts that.
Do you see my video right now?
Yes.
Good. Loser, dying. Okay, so much here.
Is that your winner speech, or do you have more?
That's all. That's it. Victory. All right.
Victory's mine. Concise. I like it. Unlike Reddit, very concise.
Did I do that right? Is this that right?
Right in what? As a mocking gesture?
Yeah.
Yes, that is a mocking
I
gesture.
feel mocked if that's what you're looking for.
He looks like you mocked him, doesn't he?
Yeah, how many points is that worth?
You don't. 1,000 bajillion points. Well, we're 3 cents at the end of this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening and watching. You can watch it now. It's video. You
Couldn't
can
find
look
it.
at the video. Aren't you silly?
Couldn't find it.
So look in the app, and you can see our stupid faces, and maybe some stupid pictures next time. Who knows? We'll see what stupid stuff comes up on the next episode of Distractible. Available right here on Spotify. Make sure that you follow the podcast so you always know when the new episodes come out. And yeah, thank you so much. Make sure you check out the merch at store.distractablepodcast.com. You can find Mark at Markiplier in places. Wade is Lord Minion 777 and or Minion 777. I am Meister online. We all do our own things, but I think we all know it's most important that you're here for this. The best podcast. It's available on the internet to listen to on Earth. I don't know what the rest of the solar system of the universe, but on Earth, we can all agree this is the spot.
And Uranus podcast beating us out.
Thank you, competitors, for having a good show and participating. You know, you knew ahead of time it would be unfair. That's it for this episode.
That was very fair.
And so, I will say, podcast out.
Well, I wish I could see their beautiful faces and what they were doing during that whole thing. Alexa, stop. Let's find something else. I wish I could have seen it, but there were literally no options on my tablet to watch it. Now, for whatever reason, if I can screen record it on my phone, I will, and I'll put it somewhere where you can still see the build and me. But I could not, for the life of me, get to see where the fuck I could watch them as they were doing their podcast. I don't know where. So, I put a note, I replied to their Q&A is, what did you think of this episode? And I said, how do you watch it? So, hopefully they get that answered, because I have no idea how to watch it. So I just listened to it while building this amazing architectural structure. I have a lot of big extra pieces, which I feel it's wrong, but we don't know that yet. So, I don't know. There were a lot of weird ones today of Am I the Asshole? But I think I made my points pretty clearly, and some of them were in line of what Bob or Wade or Mark said. I can't really remember with all of it now. But, yeah, just communicate. I think it's a key message of all three of them. Is just communicate with your spouse on things, and communicate with your spouse, like, family about things, you know? Just, the communication is always key, but no one seems to do it. So, you know, communicate. Who knows? Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Like, I'm gonna have to communicate with my sister. Because here's the thing. Here's an Am I the Asshole for you guys. Since I don't have a job anymore, I'm currently doing this full-time, YouTube. And I'm also a college student online. Now, since I can get my college work done, maybe like an hour, 2 to 3 hours done, I can get it done, I have free time. And some of that time is watching videos or getting ideas for videos, you know? And if mom wasn't in the living room, I would be playing Far Cry 4 for you guys, because I know there's some people that have been waiting for that. But, you know, mom's in there. That's literally her office, her bedroom, the living room. So I can't use that unless she's not in there. So I'm not really doing anything. And I don't know about you, but I want to do something nice for my siblings. Because I don't think they have the time to make themselves lunch. So my dad bought a lot of, you know, those paper bags. I put C for my sister Carmen and N for my sister Nora. I want to make them lunch. But here's the thing. Apparently, since Nora's in high school, she doesn't want me to make her lunch. But she doesn't say it was hers. She could have said, oh, my mom made it, or oh, my dad made it, or I made it, I just don't want to lose it. So I put an N for my initials. She can make up some story about why there's an N on the bag of a probably good lunch. Why is that so hard? Am I the asshole for making my high schooler sister lunch for school? I don't think I am, but I'm gonna have to talk to her about it after this episode. So let me know if I am the asshole of this, because I don't think so. Because all I'm thinking is I'm just being a nice big brother doing something that, okay, yes, she didn't ask for me to do this, yes. But I thought it was a nice gesture to do something like this, because I'm the older sibling. The only person that made my lunch was either my dad when I was in elementary school, and then stopped when I was in middle school, in high school. From then, I had to make my own lunch or buy lunch from outside of school. So, you know, I didn't have lunch made for me, like, in high school or middle school. And I want my siblings to have that experience, because I didn't have that. Because the other options was to make my own lunch, which I know I would pick the most unhealthiest of choices, or go outside lunch when I was in high school and go to Papa John's or Trader Joe's, or not Trader Joe's, to Target or Walgreens to get the most unhealthy snacks. You know? And I don't want my siblings to go through that, because then they get fat and obese like me. So I want to make them healthy, nutritious lunches. Since I'm not doing anything already, why not? I don't know. Let me know. Am I the asshole for doing this? Let me know why or why not. Because I don't think so. But I'll see you guys next time. I gotta talk to her about this and see if I am the asshole. You heard her. I don't know. Because I am literally in the middle of something. She cannot see I'm literally in the middle of something. I don't know. Just tell me in the comments if I'm the asshole or not. And if I am, tell me how I can fix it. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. This has been M.A.D.D.Y. I don't know. Just let me know if I'm the asshole or not. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.